Good afternoon. It is my great honor to welcome to the Solar Hub, the International Solar Alliance's pavilion at COP28, the Honorable President of Romania, His Excellency Mr. Klaus Werner Iohannis, and His Excellency Mr. Sebastian Burduja, Minister of Energy for Romania. Today, the International Solar Alliance, an intergovernmental organization with 117 member and signatory countries, becomes 118 strong. The ISA works with governments to ease solar deployment and promote solar power for a sustainable transition to a carbon-neutral future. ISA's mission is to unlock investments in solar while reducing technology and its financing costs. It promotes the use of solar energy in agriculture, health, transport, power generation sectors, among others. ISA's member countries are driving change by enacting policies and regulations, sharing best practices, agreeing on common standards, and mobilizing investments. Through this work, ISA has identified and tested new business models for solar projects, supported governments to make their energy regulations solar-friendly through analytics and advisory, pooled in demand, and helped drive down costs for solar. ISA is working towards improved access to finance by reducing the risks and making the sector more attractive to private investment. Every year, we add and improve access to training, data, and insights for solar engineers and energy policy makers. May I now welcome Honorable Minister of Energy of Romania, His Excellency Mr. Sebastian Burduja, Honorable President Mr. Werner Iohannis, and our Director General, Dr. Ajay Mathur, for the ceremony of Romania's joining to the ISA. Sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Can I pin an ISA on you? I know it is not on the protocol, but I'm taking the opportunity of being next to you. And Minister, I thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Clive. Take a good picture. Thank you.
Mr. Director General, stimate domnule ministru Burduja, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad that Romania joins the International Solar Alliance today. This shows Romania's firm commitment to become a carbon-neutral country, also by using renewable sources of energy. This important decision will increase the energy security of our country. The International Solar Alliance was born in the margins of COP21 in Paris, thanks to Indian and French visionary endeavors for which we are all grateful. I also want to express my appreciation towards the other International Solar Alliance steering group member countries, Australia, the UK, and the United States of America. I'm sure that by joining the International Solar Alliance, Romania will have a broader and deeper cooperation with India too, the host of the Alliance Secretariat, as well as with other countries interested in accelerating climate change mitigation. Romania aims to scale up its solar energy capacity and enhance national access to solar power at affordable prices. For this, we also need to cooperate at global level through alliances like this one on solar finance, technology development, and capacity building. The accession to this alliance will support Romania in implementing its ambitious solar energy targets included in the National Energy and Climate Plan. By 2030, Romania aims to have installed more than 8 gigawatts of solar energy capacity, representing 24% of the gross final renewable electricity consumption. The commitment of Romania to increase its installed solar energy capacity is fully aligned with the EU solar energy strategy and will help deliver on the Paris Agreement. Distinguished audience, a greater climate ambition also translates into more opportunities for our economy and for our citizens. Romania plans to contribute to the global value chain of solar energy and to enhance its competitiveness in this industry by leveraging Romania's current manufacturing capabilities in related products. Romania's citizens are open and supportive towards new electricity generating technologies. By September 2023, almost 97,000 prosumers installed over 1.2 gigawatts of grid-connected distributed energy sources, the overwhelmingly majority by relying on solar photovoltaic technology. Moreover, Romania, hosting Constanța, the largest center for green energy job skilling in Southeast Europe. The center has already trained thousands of technicians from Romania and abroad, all working in wind and solar industry, including former miners. We also plan to open new training centers and make them available to trainees from developing countries. I encourage you to work together and learn from each other's experience in making the most of this valuable energy source, the sun. The International Solar Alliance constitutes an excellent platform in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I invite our Director General, Dr. Ajay Mathur, to give his remarks.
President Iohannis, Minister Buduja, friends, I can't tell you how delighted I am at Romania joining the International Solar Alliance. It's a day we have longed for. I was telling the President that just as Romania was one of the first countries in the world to export oil, I hope it now becomes a country which also exports electricity from renewables, specifically solar. I have had, when I look at Romania, very clearly we are looking at addition of solar, both for providing electricity to those who never had it and to replace electricity supplies to those who are getting it, particularly in urban centers. Mr. President, Mr. Minister, we will work with you, for example, to create requirements for round-the-clock electricity. Solar makes sense, wind makes sense, storage makes sense, hydroelectricity makes sense. Though as the President very correctly pointed out, there are times of the year when hydro is not available because of the cold temperatures and the freezing that happens. We will work with you on the kinds of requests for proposals that can happen. We will similarly work with you on providing electricity to those who have never had it. We now, and a few few months ago, we published an assessment of the fact that solar plus batteries at a very small level, up to 2 megawatts, is more cost effective than extending the grid, especially if the grid has to be extended over terrain that is difficult to extend or on flat terrain for more than 10 kilometers. We believe that solar mini grids provide the most cost effective way of enabling provision of electricity. One of the key challenges in all of this, Mr. President, Mr. Minister, is business models. And as you very rightly said, capacity building becomes a key. We will work with you on that. We are working in several countries across the world on capacity building. My colleague Oni, who is here, has been spearheading regulatory training programs. We would love to see how we can work with you on these programs, hosting them in Romania for third countries as well. And finally, we look forward to work with you on the basis of seeing what needs to be done. My colleague Hugo, is Hugo here? Yes. Okay. My colleague Hugo Morales would be the key person, there's Hugo, would be the key person who will be working with you on all kinds of associations that we will need for solar to take off in your country. Mr. President, may I again thank you, Mr. Minister. We look forward to a great relationship with Romania. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now welcome Mr. Sebastian Burduja to give his remarks.
Excelența voastră, domnule președinte Klaus Werner Iohannis, Mr. Director General, esteemed guests and friends, first of all, my full gratitude for making this happen. I know it's been a long time and many people have contributed to this. And so now the easy part, the signing is done, and the hard part, the work begins. Indeed, Romania has the largest solar potential in Southeast Europe. Study after study proves that we could exploit up to 18, maybe 20 gigawatts of solar power. And the entire sector has seen a tremendous growth in recent years. In fact, we have European funds allocated to developing solar energy. We have over 460 million euros under the Recovery and Resilience Facility, and we were meant to build 950 megawatts. With the same budget, it looks like we will build 2,000 megawatts, meaning that the private sector has responded, and with a little bit of help from government, from grants, they've come in and we will accelerate vastly. We have 1.5 billion euros under the Modernization Fund. It's another source of grant funding. And of course, we have under preparation in the final phase the contracts for difference. It's a financing scheme, a state aid scheme that will build an additional 3,000 megawatts by 2025. Moreover, indeed, as Mr. President said, the number of households that have put up solar panels in only 2 years has skyrocketed. In January 2022, we had less than 20,000 households with solar panels. Today, we have over 100,000, and their installed power exceeds essentially the power that is in our nuclear plant in Cernavod, almost. So, a lot of hope. And Mr. Director General, less than a month ago in the ministry, we announced a campaign, a nationwide campaign called Energy for Life, Let's Turn on the Light. It targets over 50,000 households that have never had electricity. And we hope to rile up the private sector, civil society in a nationwide campaign to make sure that no child has to study by the candlelight in Romania. Once again, I want to thank everybody who contributed to this, and also my friend, Presidential Advisor Alexandra Bokce, everybody who's involved. And I do want to reference Helen Keller. I think she said that if you keep looking at the sun, you will never see the shade. So today's event truly is looking at the sun. There are no shades upon it, and we have a lot of work to do together. Thank you again for all your support.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite the three dignitaries to join us for a group photograph. And after that, the Romanian team and the ISA team will also have a group photograph. It will happen